Hi, hope all of you are well. Today I wanted to discuss about alcohol addiction and something that I'm not going to touch upon because I don't know enough about, and that's sex addiction. But I want to mention that all addictions are challenging, and in a way they're kind of a disability. They suck up your time and your money and damage your relationships, and in multiple ways at many levels, and they overcome you in terms of your brain dependence. Changes your brain. There's many studies to show that, and are part of a lot of different cultures. The people that I've talked to that are from certain backgrounds where they brewed beer, in a lesser degree wine, and spirits like rum, and in those cultures they became dependent on alcohol for survival reasons. Either they had no sources of clean water in their area, or they could not desalinate the water. There are other historical reasons from colonization years in America, where Aboriginals were introduced to rum for various reasons I don't want to discuss here. Maybe I'll discuss that in a future video. But my point that I want to make here is that it's a very complex issue, and it's not as simple as just not drinking anymore. It's very easy to say, if you're not dependent, that you can just stop drinking. It's not that simple. Unfortunately, it is very challenging to overcome, like many addictions. I admire those who fight to overcome them. It takes a lot of energy, a lot of sacrifice. It's emotionally draining, and requires a lot of support from family and the community and so on. For those who are not able to, I think that they are judged in ways that are unfair. Remember that some are born with dependence, and they never chose it, never had a chance to avoid it, never had a chance to prevent that kind of addiction. So I think that people who are dependent on substances, not just alcohol, but drugs. Of course, there's alcohol is a drug, chemically speaking. They require a little sensitivity. Definitely don't need to be judged. They need support, and please try to be understanding. So if you find yourself as one of those people who do prejudge, I implore you to do some reading, meet some of these people, talk to them, and maybe you can get a deeper understanding. I've talked to many and from various addictions. I believe it is one of the most important things to prevent or overcome in order to reach a self-fulfilling life, because it affects your life at all levels, and for many people it ends in the worst way. So I just want to say that my message here is it's extremely challenging. People with various addictions, like substance addictions, they will be challenged by it their entire lives, and many of them have changed brains, so that makes it even more challenging. So I forgot to mention another addiction, one that I have personal experience with. I've had a mild addiction with playing poker. I did that for a few years for income, and the money was not an issue for me, but for many, of course, that it is. And they've lost a lot of all their savings and their homes. Addiction to gambling is as bad as addiction to substances in many cases, and it affects your time. You have thoughts, constant thoughts of playing. When I played, I did nothing but read and absorb from the internet about poker. I drank when I was playing poker in Vegas and in other casinos, and that made the addiction worse. I had lack of sleep because I played into the night. There's one time that I played 2 overnights, which was really bad. Many overnights as well. And when you're playing poker, you're sitting down at a table and you lack physical activity and other forms of activity, including social activity, and your communication with your family and your friends totally shuts down. You communicate only for poker. For me, addiction to gambling was mild compared to others that I've seen, and so I'm grateful for that I was able to break out of it. For me, what I did was I got a job at my favorite casino, and that over the span of 13 months I broke my addiction. And also at my favorite casino, I met my wife of now 13 years, I'm thinking. I could be wrong. I hope she understands if I'm wrong on that. I think it's 13 years now. I'm gonna say stay on the safe side. But I want to mention that prevention to gambling is not difficult. It's very easy. Just requires a little bit of knowledge through reading and talking to someone who may have had some gambling experience, addiction. And so I just want to mention that yeah, stay away from the casinos, and that's all you really need to do. There you go, Padres. And he accomplished something that is extremely hard to accomplish. 3,141 hits in his 20-year career. That in itself is an accomplishment. Of course, he's a Hall of Famer. Another Padre that is a Hall of Famer is Trevor Hoffman. 601 saves in an 18-year career. These are people who are passionate about what they do, and if you can find a passion, you'll see that your life will change considerably. So I'll talk about passions in a future video on self-fulfillment, and not a victim of one of these addictions. Please try to prevent it, find ways to prevent it, and help and support others who are addicted. So I hope you find this information helpful and or entertaining. And until next time, let us go now.